Assalamualaikum and good day to all. So for today's chapter, we shall look into pressure groups. So basically untuk this chapter, kita akan differentiate between what is political parties and also what is pressure group. So according to Moody, pressure group can be defined as any organized group which attempt to influence the government decisions without seeking itself to exercise the formal powers of government. Moreover, pressure group is also called as collective individuals who members want to influence the law. Therefore, a pressure group is any organized group that does not seek power or kita kata does not involve directly in government but look forward to influence in the government policy. Again, kat sini dia kata kat sini pressure group also can be called as interest group that are organisation to seek influence government decision makers in order to adopt policies which is benefit to their members. So for example, kita ada Kesatuan Pekerja Trade Union. So inilah kita katakan dengan pressure group ataupun nama lain dia interest group. So apa sebenarnya orang kata objective pressure group ni? So the main aim of the pressure group is to affect the decision of those in power. So basically apa yang mereka cuba ataupun objektif pressure group ni adalah untuk pastikan mereka punya orang kata apa suara itu didengari oleh government lah ataupun policy maker. So there are 5 functions of pressure group. The first one, act as a linkage function or as a mediator. Contohnya macam Kesatuan Pekerja kan. Kesatuan Pekerja merupakan satu pressure group ataupun interest group di mana persatuan tersebut merupakan orang tengah antara majikan dan juga pekerja. Number 2, articulation of interest. Bila you dah jadi mediator, maka you merupakan satu platform untuk you menyuarakan you punya interest. Number 3, mechanism for political representation. So again, macam trade union juga, trade union merupakan satu badan kesatuan pekerja yang akan mewakili pekerja. Nombor 4, to influence the government. And last but not least, allowing the political process to be more responsive. So once the pressure group is orang kata giving the pressure to the government, therefore the government shall look into the opinions from the pressure groups and be more responsive. So, kita nak tengok sikit kewujudan interest group ataupun kita kata pressure groups ni. So, the first one, it became increased specialization in society. So, basically, this pressure group to promote the ideas, advice or specialist knowledge of the groups. For example, kita ada Greenpeace. So, Greenpeace ni merupakan satu pressure group yang orang kata apa, yang memang betul fight untuk environment lah. Ataupun kita kata kat sini, mereka ni dikelas sebagai environmentalist. Number 2, the rapidly expanding population of water. So adanya orang kata trend kan, trend population semakin meningkat. Jadinya dengan peningkatan population tu sebab serba sedikit boleh memberi orang kata apa impak yang besarlah kepada pressure group ni untuk menarik lebih ramai orang. So it will lead to a sharp increase in the demand for the local public goods. Number 3, the expansion of the existing trade and also professional association. So expanded into national pressure groups such as doctors, lawyers, agriculture producers, civil servants and many more. So for example, macam Kesatuan Pekerja, even macam kalau kita boleh katakan macam contoh financial institution, mereka ada Kesatuan Pekerja iaitu NUB, National Union Bank Employers. So itu kita kata NUB. So untuk yang bahagian kru airline juga mereka punya trade union yang tersendiri. Number 4, impacts of war, terkesan daripada sejarah lampau lah. So those who fought and survived in the wars tend to form organisation to further their claims for peace. So for example macam bekas-bekas askar di US dan UK. Number 5, the origin of the pressure group establishment is because of the creation of many bureaus in the legislature. So it will inspire the individuals itself to form the pressure groups and try to influence the legislation, tak kisahlah federal level ataupun state level, that relating to the bureau. So again, untuk legislature, basically for this pressure group, one of the method yang mereka ingin suara mereka didengari adalah melalui lobbying lah. So basically they will lobbying the legislature in the state level. Next, number 6, improvement in communication. So it will greatly aided ataupun kita kata greatly provided the formation of pressure groups because the electronic media have reduced the cost of identifying a common interest and making collective decision. So memang kita sentiasa orang kata apa, bila dunia semakin orang kata apa, hari-hari kita mengalami globalisasi, maka peredaran, orang kata peredaran teknologi komunikasi tu semakin pesat, semakin membangun. So sekarang, daripada sekarang bila kita nak receive a message ataupun receive orang kata apa, for example macam a communication, so it will become fast. So bila dengan adanya improvement in communication ni, therefore this pressure group dia lagi achieve dia punya benefit. Mungkin dulu dekat satu negara je, for example macam Greenpeace. So basically Greenpeace ni dia start establish in UK, but right now satu dunia dah ada Greenpeace. So macam contoh yang paling famous, Greenpeace dekat India, Greenpeace in Canada. Next, number 7, due to economic depression. So because of tension in a country, and the tension lead to the establishment of this pressure group. So for example, what happened in 1930s, Great Economic Depression, that causing the crisis and also formation of labour group. So siapa lagi yang nak orang kata apa, membela ataupun menjaga kebajikan buruh-buruh ni sewaktu economic depression, adalah melalui pembentukan pressure group ini. So, kita nak tengok subtopik yang seterusnya. Apakah perbezaan antara political parties and also these pressure groups? So, first of all, you need to understand the differences between these two groups can be understood by understand the concept of political parties. So again, kita dah cover dah chapter political parties ni dalam chapter 5. So kat sini nak recall balik. So a political party is an organisation that supplies these 3 kinds of services. So ada 3 benda ni, maka dia boleh dikatakan sebagai political party. First one, helping the legislative candidates to get elected. So itu adalah kerja political party, bukan kerja pressure group. Number 2, helping the legislators to get the bill passed. And lastly, helping the members of the group to influence the legislation. So these 3 conditions below are stated as political parties. So kita nak tengok perbezaan antara political parties dan juga pressure group dalam 4 sudut ni lah. Sudut yang pertama dari aspek opinion, yang kedua dari aspek interest, yang ketiga dari aspek goals, and last but not least kita akan tengok dari aspek yang terakhir, iaitu nature of membership. So, kita nak tengok perbezaan antara political party yang sebelah kiri dan juga pressure group yang di sebelah kanan. So, in terms of opinion, for political party, they have a generalist in opinion. Meanwhile, for the pressure group, there is a specialist by giving people a sharper and more detailed expression than what can be done by the political party. So nak katakan pressure group ni dia akan menyuarakan hanya satu benda sahaja yang benefit kepada kumpulan mereka sendiri. For example, macam saya cakap tadi, Greenpeace kan. Greenpeace tu dia punya concern dia adalah tentang alam persekitaran. So dia akan fight ataupun dia akan tekan kerajaan tentang penguatkuasaan undang-undang alam sekitar. And moving on, number 2, kita nak tengok perbezaan political party dan pressure groups in terms of interest. So for a political party, they represent an aggregation of interest, embrace the whole nation. So dia punya interest tu sebagai satu nation. satu negara sama sahaja. Meanwhile, for the pressure group, they only emphasize ataupun kita kata they only concentrate on the special areas of interest. Dan Greenpeace, kita ada juga WWF, iaitu Worldwide Fund for orang kata apa, hidupan liar lah. So mereka ini merupakan pressure group yang mempunyai special areas of interest. So moving on, kita nak tengok aspek yang ketiga, iaitu goals. So apa perbezaan antara goals political party dan juga goals pressure group? So a political party aims to acquire power through election. So itu adalah goal political party. Meanwhile, for the pressure group, we all know this pressure group, they has no such purpose, ataupun kita kata dia tak nak pun power tu, but they try to influence the political party to fight for their interest as well. So last but not least, kita nak tengok perbezaan antara political party dan juga pressure group dari sudut nature of the membership lah. So basically, for the political party, the membership of a political party is varied. Meanwhile, for pressure group, is more selective. Itulah kita katakan perbandingan antara political party dan juga pressure group. So these are the example of pressure group. So kita ada shelter. So basically shelter ni their aim is to help the homeless people. And then kita ada AI ataupun kita kata Amnesty International. So basically kita tahu AI memang memperjuangkan hak asasi manusia. Number 3, Greenpeace. So basically Greenpeace ni dia sangat aktif dekat tak semua negara Greenpeace ni aktif, tapi like macam basically Scandinavian country, even Australia and also New Zealand and also India, Greenpeace mereka sangat bergiat aktif lah. So basically Greenpeace ni they always conduct campaigns on environmental issues. And then kita ada Confederation of British Industry. So basically untuk CBI ni, they more on promoting their business interest. And then kita ada trade union. So tak kisahlah, even dalam Malaysia pun kita ada our own trade unions to promote the workers' interest. And last but not least, action on smoking health. So basically this is pressure group yang anti-smoking. So there are a few types of pressure group. So the first one, kita ada associational pressure group. So basically this pressure group are a formally organised group which articulate the shared interest of their members over the long time of period. And they try to achieve the specific objective of their members. So it can also call as orang kata apa, professionals group lah. So this group have a distinctive name, ada headquarters tersendiri, and also they have their own professional employees, and they will use effective procedures to pursue their interest. So Malaysia adalah contohnya kita ada ABM, Association of Bank in Malaysia, and then kita ada Malaysian Trade Union Congress, MTUC, and then kita ada MMA, Malaysian Medical Association, and then you ada Sahabat Alam Malaysia, and then kita ada Suhakam and many more. So I believe most of you yang dah bekerja, you all pun ada you all punya kesatuan pekerja. So number 2, the types of interest of pressure group is non-associational pressure group. Tadi associational, so sekarang non-associational. So basically this group do not have a name, ataupun dia more kepada informal structure. However, they are aware of their own distinctiveness because they possess the similar characteristic and also possess the similar interests. But they reflect largely unarticulated social, ethnic, cultural or religious interests. So the best example of this group are, for example, macam unemployment individuals, ataupun members of particular religions ataupun ethnic groups. So for example, macam non-associational pressure group ni, contohnya tadi macam tadi itulah yang apa tu, group anti smoker. Itu kita kata dengan non-associational pressure group. Number 3, the types of interest group ataupun pressure group yang ketiga iaitu institutional group. So basically this group exists within the government and this group has specific functions and also activities and they always being monitored by the government. So they are well establishment such as government bureaucracies, members of armed forces and also members of parliament. So these people kita kata dia institutional groups lah. So they have vested interest and they will lobby from the inside, often out public side. So the purpose of this pressure group is to implement and also to execute the government policy. So in order to become the center for the public meeting, so they will act upon certain matters that related to the national development. So inilah kita kata dengan institutional group. So for example, macam public sector, kita ada QPAC. So types of pressure groups number 4 adalah anomic group. So basically this group established when people strongly oppose specific policies. So anomie means a sense of separation from social norm. So for example, without any pre-planning or organisation, so when the people want to show their disappointment about a particular government policy, so it called as anomic pressure group. So basically United States of America ni mereka sangat menentang Vietnam War tu sebab mereka rasa Vietnam War tu merupakan satu perang yang orang kata apa memang tak masuk, yang tak patut dilaksanakan. So in United States, the nationwide demonstrations against the Vietnam War in 1960s and also against the Iraq War in 2002. So in Malaysia, the formation of a group of Malaysian during the 13 May. So untuk dalam Malaysia pula, kita pun ada anomic group juga apabila berlakunya peristiwa 13 Mei. Okay, kita dah habis dah tengok jenis-jenis pressure group. Dia ada 4 tadi. So, sekarang kita nak tengok apakah method ataupun cara-cara this pressure group ni nak influence the public policy lah. So, the first one kita nak tengok in terms of approaching judiciary. So, basically approaching judiciary ni maksudnya kita kata judiciary terus refer kepada mahkamah. So, it is a type of lawsuit where one party is a group of people who are represented collectively by a member of that group policy. So, macam dalam case Lane against Facebook ni, mereka merasakan bahawa data privacy mereka telah di-violate lah. Telah di-violate. Jadi, mereka ambil tindakan undang-undang. Method yang diguna pakai oleh pressure group adalah lobbying. So basically kita dah pernah dengar apa kata lobbying ni. So to lobby successfully, this pressure group need a great deal of money. So when we talk about lobbying, you might think about money. So basically orang kata no money, no talk. So the first one, they will lobbying the legislative branch because legislative adalah yang represent the people. So this interest group ataupun kita kata this pressure group will spend a lot of money a year to lobby the members of Congress in any issues yang diorang rasa perlu orang kata apa perlu didengari lah. Number 2, they will lobbying the executive branch. Mula-mula they lobby legislative, sekarang dia lobby executive. So this interest group will particularly target the regulatory agencies, any government agency lah, which have the ability to set the policy affecting commerce and also trade throughout the country. So number 3, bila dia dah lobby legislative, dia dah lobby executive, so the pressure group will lobby the judicial branch. So basically, the pressure group will work to influence the courts in a number of ways. So basically, they will presenting an argument in the court which are favor in a particular issue. So basically, sometimes this pressure group they akan filekan lawsuit against the government or other parties. So, apa sebenarnya kebaikan having this pressure group? So, pressure group will provide expert information and advice. Sebab apa? Pressure group ni, they have their own specific interest. So, they know what, they know more about their interest other than the government itself. Number 2, pressure group will provide a framework for public to participate in politics. So tengoklah cara macam mana this pressure group campaign. Number 3, they can define and also focus in getting the public attention on issues and also journalists. Pressure group will reflect the amount of public consent for the government policy. So bila got this pressure group berjaya kumpulkan seramai yang mungkin in order for them to push the government towards their inhering their interest, therefore dia akan membawa suara-suara tersebut terhadap government intention dan government akan jadi lebih responsif. So, however, there ada a few drawbacks lah of pressure group. So, number 1, this pressure group might give too much weight to influence. Kadang-kadang they are too close to government but not really represent the general public. So, kadang-kadang they are not democratically accountable as political parties have to be. So, again lah, mereka tidak mempunyai formal power like political party have. And last but not least, this pressure group will continue to be a significant sources of power, pressure and also opinion in the certain political system. For example, like British political system.